Welcome back to the Shine Within podcast. Natalie Wong is a seasoned professional and personal mindset consultant, re, re, renowned for catalyzing permanent transformations. Her extensive background as an educator has honed her ability to deeply and rapidly connect with people. Specializing in enhancing appearance, communication skills, and overall mindset, Natalie guides her clients towards profound and lasting change. Her expertise in image consulting and RTT hypnotherapy plays a pivotal role in building self-confidence and fostering a positive outlook. Natalie's clients experience more than temporary shifts. They emerge as captivating and self-assured individuals equipped to face life's challenges with new vigor. Thank you so much, Natalie, for joining me today. I already love your energy and I already love chit-chatting with you. We should have hit record back then. Just so people can get a feel of like how your energy is, because it's amazing and it's contagious. So thank you so much for being on my show today.
Lovely. And I love your energy too. I think that's what attracted me to your podcast, Gina.
Oh, that's so awesome. Thank you so much. And so I would love for you just to go ahead and share with us your journey from being an educator to becoming a personal mindset consultant.
Okay. So you see, I was very lucky. When I was 6 years old, I had a revelation. I wanted to be a teacher. And I followed my dream and became a teacher. And the journey, you learn a lot as you start your career. So it was on like up and down. It was like a little bit bumpy, but over the years, I really gained some really good skill. I would say a lot about communicating and getting my message across in the best possible way. I think tact is something I learned as I was growing as a teacher, and also being observant, noticing body language and trying to read people, those little, the children, like seeing what's going on in their minds so I can really best teach them. And after a few years, maybe 20, 25, I thought, oh, I love being a teacher. I love it. But what if I could take those skills and do something else with that? And my mind started to think, oh, what could I do? What could I do? And I thought, okay, image consulting is really interesting to me. Because when you think image consulting, it's not just about looking your best, it's about how you interact with people. So it was taking what I had learned and moving it a little bit further. So I took my training and then I was ready to go. And then COVID hit. And okay, well, I'll stay teaching a little longer because I loved it. But after a while, I thought, okay, it's time. So I left teaching and I started my career as an image consultant. And I realized that it would be so much more powerful for my clients if I could add another aspect, and that is the inside aspect. Because you may look good on the outside, you may act your best, but if inside you don't feel well, you don't feel good, it just it transpires. So that's when I took my training as a rapid transformational therapist. And I knew that with the hypnotherapy part, I was going to be able to help my clients look good on the outside, feel good on the inside. And just recently, I took my neuro-linguistic programming training. So it's going even further. So when my client work with me, they can have access to all my tools. And I feel that it's really a gift that I can provide to them. All those, the outside, the inside. Yes.
Yes, they all go hand in hand for sure. And thinking back about when I was young,
Yes.
I always loved because my mom always wore makeup. She always looked good. She had her little pantyhose she would put on and she would put on her skirts. And I was like, wow, so fascinated. Like, wow, my mom's so beautiful. And I was always interested in putting on makeup and everything. But I did. And when I was a proper age, of course, that's age 16, but really I was maybe junior high, just sneaking the makeup on. Um, and then I felt beautiful, yes, on the outside, but I hated myself in the inside. I didn't like who I was. I mean, of course, I was complaining like, okay, I need to lose weight here, this could improve here. But I really hated myself inside because I was suffering so much inside from traumas that I've experienced in my early life, and then of course in high school. And I was like, wow, I didn't really start loving myself until I found like a coach, and then she helped me with the mindset. And once I figured out, okay, if I talk to myself a little bit differently here, I can start appreciating myself. So she made me look at the mirror and say, okay, say something that you like about yourself instead. I'm like, well, I like this, this, this. And then what do you not like about? I said, well, this. She's like, well, why can't you just tell yourself differently? Like, I'm working on this now. I'm going to work on this. It's going to get better. I'm like, you know what? Why am I not doing these things before? No one teaches us these things. And I love that you use like hypnotherapy. Have you ever heard of biofeedback by the way?
Not really. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so biofeedback, that's kind of like it's kind of like a form of hypnotherapy. And because I suffered a lot of anxiety and stomach issues when I was young, and my mom said, well, let's try this biofeedback. And I'm like, okay, what is it? She's like, well, we'll find out. So we went in, and the gentleman was very kind. And what he did is he helped me learn how to relax my own body. So I wasn't having that nervous stomach. So he would put on music and I would just relax, and then he would tell me, okay, I want you to start from the top of your head and notice your body relaxing as energy going down all the way to your fingertips. Then I want you to imagine yourself walking down a stairway, and then you're going to the beautiful destination of wherever you desire. And I was so relaxed, and like my mind literally shifted from like nervousness to like relaxation. Can we talk a little bit about the hypnotherapy that you do with your clients?
Sure. So it's called rapid transformational therapy. And starts exactly like what you described about relaxing the clients and going inside. But what is special about rapid transformational therapy is it's able to access your subconscious mind, see why you're doing things this way. So if you have you eat too much, like where is that coming from? And we look at your past. We go back into your past and find the root cause of it, because what you think it is may not be why. And in your life, you've acquired patterns and you imprinted them. And then you relive those things, you redo those things. So an example would be, let's say, I know for me, like personal pattern, school was not easy. Like, high school, coming home is like, oh, I'm home, I'm safe. What makes you feel good? I'll eat something. So when you're 40 or 50, you're not in high school anymore. You don't have this toxic environment, but you come home and you're still looking for this kind of feeling. So through hypnotherapy, I discovered what my patterns were, and I was able to, change them and put something different in my mind. So to answer your question, the type of hypnotherapy that I practice that's different is because it goes to the root cause, makes you see what it is. And then once you know that, I have some techniques, some tools to change that and put something different in there. So not only when you come out of hypnosis, you feel relaxed, but you also feel powerful and you feel lighter because you don't have the same beliefs. And the last part of the hypnosis journey is the transformation. And we do a short recording of all the things you want, coming home after school, no, after work, and, getting busy with things, but not having this desire for food. So all those I put in the recording, and I ask my clients to listen to that recording for 21 days. And that really cements the change. And I must add that Marissa Peer is the one who created this therapy. So I was trained by her, and I just find it so powerful. I could talk and talk and talk about this for the whole time.
Yeah.
So that's what the type of hypnotherapy that I do.
That's amazing. Yeah, the root cause, that is the most important. And that's what I talk a lot about with when it comes to drinking. Why are you drinking? Addiction. What is the root cause of you wanting to go ahead and either overeat, overdrink, and gamble, whatever it is. And it's really like why and the root cause and that healing and that transformation with what you're doing, that technique that you're using with your clients. I mean, I'm sure you're seeing like transformations happening all the time with them, right?
Yes, and I have to say, I'm always amazed because it's just so powerful.
Mhm.
And as I was preparing for a meeting together, I thought the name of your podcast, Shine Within, it's all about that. It's all about going inside and letting your light really spread to the world. But it's also about doing the work. The work, we have trauma, we have things that stop us in our tracks. So just kind of going in and then doing a cleanup, letting all the garbage out so you can deeply shine within.
Yes, just a big vomit, right? A big purge, just get it out because we all have it. We all experience it. Now, in your experience, how important is the relationship between one's self-image and their overall mindset?
Between our self-image and other people's mindset,
Yeah, one's self-image and then their own overall mindset, those two to combine together.
I think they just go hand in hand. Like you
Right.
cannot have one without the other. It's just the same thing, just different words.
Yeah, and because like I was telling you before, when I was my mindset wasn't good, but I was kind of feeling good, but then I felt ugly inside. And so, like I was telling you before, like I think once my mindset was okay, then I started appreciating more and more about what
Mm.
I loved about myself. And then I had to practice it. Everything is a practice, I noticed. Like you said, you were making a tape for your clients, and then they would have to listen to it like for 21 days you were saying, and then once that's like a practice, and then I'm pretty sure they've continued that after the 21 days because they loved it so much. So they were like, I'm going to continue this because it feels good.
Yes, or they come back with another issue. So I understand your question better. I think your mindset and the way it's almost like if you think the metaphor of shine within, the light, the little candle is always there. It's always lit.
Mm.
But the lantern is so dirty. It's about really cleaning the lantern so the little candle, the little flame can be shining more. And then you can, like in the old days, you could turn the little thing and the flame would be higher. I think
Uh,
that's what it's all about. That's the powerful work that I do, just letting that little sparkle become bigger so people can see it and you can actually feel it in your
yeah.
inside.
Especially with that warmth. I'm thinking about flame. I'm like, because it's so cold today over here. I'm like, I was thinking about that flame. I said, I need some flame around me because it's so cold here. My hands are so chilly. I'm like, give me some warmth. Yeah. So, can you actually provide an example of a transformation you facilitated that particularly stands out to you?
Definitely. Let me pick a good one. There was this lady who came to see me for a lack of self-confidence, and she would not do much. She was always scared, very tentative about what she was doing. And we went through hypnosis, rapid transformational therapy, regressed, and it came back to when she was in grade school. And the teacher was very hard on her, and she was ridiculed. And she just took that learning when she was, I think, 6 or 7, and she just made it like a imprint, like permanent. And now when how old is she was in her 30s, she would always act the same way as the way she was when she was 6 or 7, don't want to take risks anymore. So once she understood that, yes, she was no longer 6 years old. She was a very capable, powerful, beautiful, strong woman of 35 years old. So she was able to clear slate and really become who she wanted to become. And then she went on to, taking more projects at work, chairing meetings, making presentations. And all that happened after one session. So that's an example
Wow.
for yes.
How powerful is that, though? Like one session. I'm
Session,
like,
yes.
sign me up. Sign me up. Now I'm just curious, like what does a typical session look like with you for someone seeking to improve their looks, their communication, and their mindset?
Okay, so there's different parts in my business. The one I described, the hypnotherapy, would be pretty much that, except before going through the session, people would have a discovery call with me telling me their issue. And then I explained what hypnotherapy is and the process, that it's all about, hypnosis is not me having control over them. It's just them having control over them and accessing this part of their mind. So when they understand hypnotherapy, I show them how powerful their mind is, and we go into the session. But I'm not just a certified hypnotherapist. I'm also an image consultant. So my biggest program right now is my mentorship program, where I really combine tweaking your appearance, improving your appearance. How do I do it? I do a color consultation. And we already talked about, your beautiful look, like, you have cool undertones. So finding colors that support you, and people will have seen in your beautiful blue dress, those are really wonderful colors for you. They would not look good on me, but they are perfect for you. So color consultation is finding the right color for the person, and also looking at the body type and finding the right clothes for the body type, because there's fashion and there's our body. And when we try to fit the two together, sometimes it does work, sometimes it doesn't work. So it's about knowing your body and finding clothes that support it. So colors, body, and then I go into, the outside, the inside, clearing the mind. I have some amazing tool from neuro-linguistic programming that I've just learned about letting go of negative emotion and limiting beliefs. And once that is kind of cleared, you have an appearance that you look in the mirror, you're like, I'm happy with what I see, feel good inside. Then we go a little bit deeper. We go with the behavior and the communication. Because if you can communicate in the best possible way, your message is received in the best possible way. So it's almost like learning to be observant and speaking the language that the other person is speaking. Just like if you were to go to France, you would speak French to those people because that's their language of choice. So being very observant in your surroundings, and when you meet someone, being able to find out their best language and communicate with them in their best language. So let me give you an example. I think it's a little bit blurry. Some people communicate a lot with visuals, they give you metaphors. So when you notice that, you can use more metaphors in your language. So they, we connect. And people love people who are like themselves. So if you can be on the same wavelength, already you have a head start. So that is the behavior, that's the communication, and general guidelines. I think that a lot of people know what they need to do, but they're not aware of how they come across. And that is my role as a mentor, to say, well, you talk a little bit too much about yourself, or you come across as, you undervalue yourself. So how to bring that up? So it's mentoring through all the 4 aspects of appearance, behavior, communication, and mindset. That's what I do.
That is so important. Communication, especially because, I mean, the best communication is even for someone who is just listening, and just nodding their head and just validating, acknowledging what the other person is saying. Because a lot of times, I'm going to use my husband as an example because that's who I'm mostly with. So I always talk about him in my podcast, but he's an engineer.
Yes.
I don't have a mathematical background. I don't know anything about that's not my expertise at all. He
Mm-hmm.
comes here and tells me all about these variables, this, calculations here, this, that, blah, blah, blah. And for me, I'm like in my head, I'm like, oh man, I really don't know what he's talking about. So what I would do is like, I would then say, yes, can you tell me a little bit more what that means? Like, oh, what is this? What is this? Can you explain? Because I am not sure. Just engaging in even questions. He gets so excited sharing his passion. He's like, she's interested in what I'm saying. Instead of
Yes.
me just saying, oh, I don't want to hear it.
Yes, I know. And, I think that you lead with your heart, right? It's
Right.
pretty obvious. That's what you do. That's why you have the podcast. People lead sometimes with their head. So when you have a partner, And most of the time, they're totally opposite to us. I can really relate. My husband is an accountant, and he's like telling me, okay, make sure you keep track of all your expenses. I'm like, okay. So that's why you're a good match together. But when you know how he communicates, then you can communicate the same way, and then it really matches.
Right. Communication is very important. I love that you do everything. Oh, that's perfect. You like, I need to like send some people to you. you,
I
you
work from
know,
Zoom. I work, yeah. So yeah, sure.
that's awesome. And then the whole color, I mean, because color matching, because I've known some I've worked with some women because we had the same coaching, we're in the same coaching program who do fashion and they do color matching and this. And it, you know, you did bring up a good point about the different types of clothing we wear for our different body types, because for my sister, she's like 6 feet tall, and growing up, she's very thin. As I am not that tall and I'm a different build, like I'm more muscular and stockier and she was more petite. And so I would always compare, like, you know, oh, let me try that outfit on, and it just didn't look right. Because hello, we're different sizes. And I think that when we look even on TV and they were like, oh, I would want to get an outfit like that, but then we try it on, it doesn't look good. But then when you find like the right outfit, like even like a nice cardigan, you know, for me, I like my pants high waisted because I have hips. I can never wear anything like low waisted, and then otherwise, like probably some rolls will be hanging out from those pants. It wouldn't look good. So you have to match your body. So I'm so happy you do that. That's awesome.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You know, if the fashion is low rise and you know you can't wear that, you're not going to follow the fashion because you know that it's not going to be the image you want to project. So, you know, there's other ways to create something that is in fashion, but with your body type. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I want a little bit more about you. I want to see if you can go ahead and share like a personal habit or practice that has significantly contributed to your success as a mindset consultant.
My gratitude journal is very important. I do it in the evening. And throughout the day, I'm always looking for something to write in it. And I don't want to always write the same thing. I'm thankful for this, thankful for, you know. So I'm always on the lookout, like, oh, what's great about this? What's special? What can I write? So just looking for the positive. I think I've encountered more positive in my life. And all the things that we hear, but sometimes we just don't do, like, you know, power posing, like we hear about this. How often do people do it? So I try to make a point, you know, when I'm listening to someone, you know, spreading my legs, really grounding myself, maybe not putting my hands on my hips, a little too bossy, but
Like
just
this.
really grounding myself and try to use the things that we hear all the time in practice. Thoughts, how easy it is to just reframe it, you know, like I was preparing for this podcast. I was a little bit nervous, like, oh, it's like, no, this is going to be a really fun, you know, I'm just going to talk to Gina. Let's just pretend she's my best
Yeah.
friend. And just this reframe of it just made it like so much easier to come and to be with you and to be on your fantastic podcast. So reframing, power posing, gratitude, those are things that have improved my mindset and are very powerful in my day-to-day life.
And you practice those all the time too. Yeah, I try to practice that when I see myself like slumping like this. It's like, no, no,
Mhm.
Gina, put those shoulders back. You know, so I grew up, I started forming very early at an early age. And so I come from a Hispanic background. So my aunt on my dad's side, my dad passed away when I was a baby, but I was very close to that side of the family. So I developed early. And I remember my aunt would tell me, stick your chi-chis out. It's like, yeah, I'm only 9 years old. But I was always slumping like this,
Yeah.
ashamed of that. But of course, I was going to be ashamed because no one else was growing in chest. Because I started my period, I was like 3 days of my ninth birthday. So I was maybe not 9 years old. Okay, I was probably like 12 or 13 years old, but I was still like kind of hold like slumping. And so I'm like, no, I need to put my shoulders back. If I have a large chest, and that's the way God made me. So I have to embrace that and say,
Mhm.
okay, reframe my mindset, like you said, and say, you know what, I should be grateful. People actually pay money for a larger chest sometimes. So I need to be grateful and not ashamed of my chest, you know. So thanks to my aunt, bless her heart. She always had me do that practice where I'm like not sticking it out, but like keeping
Just
my
standing up
shoulders back,
straight.
standing up
Yes,
straight.
totally.
Exactly. And I was like, oh, it's a good way to stand up straight. Just think of like a little string pulling you from your head, like so it
Yeah,
seems a
totally.
little more
Yes.
ease. Yes. And I'm also curious to know how you actually stay updated and continue to grow in your own field to offer the best to your clients.
Yes. Well, I just told you I finished my training in neurolinguistic programming, and that happened about 2 weeks ago. So I think that's pretty current. And I always listen to interesting things that are in my field. I listen to Marissa Peer. I listen to the latest books. I love listening to books on tapes that have something to do with my field of expertise. I'm part of different boards. So I get literature like a board of hypnotherapy. So I read it on that. So it's listening, it's reading, it's talking. And also when I write articles on LinkedIn, and I used, I do a bit of research before I write it. So when you teach people, you get better. So that's another way I get better, by doing the research so I can present it to the people who read what I write.
Yeah, so you're continuously evolving and growing because you're always educating yourself, it seems like. So you're always learning, what would benefit me in this practice, and then implement this into the work that I'm doing for my clients. And that's awesome. Yeah. Oh, like I love listening to other people's podcasts. I always love anything new that I can go ahead and learn about. And that way, like you said, go ahead and share that too than your clients. So yay. Now, there's a lot of listeners here who are always looking to, work on their personal development and also looking to just grow in general and grow in life because, we're surrounded by things that influence us in a negative way. What
Yes.
advice would you go ahead and give to someone who feels stuck either in their personal or professional life and is seeking change?
Well, I think the number one thing is you really have to be ready to make the change. That's the number. You need to be committed 100%. There's a lot of people out there who can support them. You need to find someone you connect with very well, because if you're going to be doing it on your own, it's very challenging. There's tons of self-help book. If you'd follow everything they say, you probably would have a fantastic life. But finding someone who you can work with, that you like and that can support you when you're totally committed, I think that's the best way to go. And there's so many modalities that are fantastic. So find one that you really like, that you really trust. Maybe I'm the person for you, maybe not. Look at their social medias, look at what they offer, and then reach out and see if, the person that you've seen on the screen is the same person that you interact with. Because social media is fantastic to present yourself in the best possible way, but there's a real person behind there. So connect with that person and see if that's a good fit. So I would say that being committed 100%, finding the modalities that you think will help you the best, and connecting with people who are in that field and finding the best one for you.
I love that. Yes, of course. And then for those listeners who are like, yes, 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 and they want to know more about you and intrigued by your work, how can they reach out to you for a consultation or for advice or social media or website, all that good stuff?
Okay, so they can look at what my LinkedIn profile, Natalie Wong. They can look at my Instagram, although my Instagram is not super, it's not the way I want it, but Instagram, Natalie Wong Transformation. They can look at my website, www.imagereflection.ca. And if they want to contact me, they can go through the website and send me a text, or not a text, but an email, and we can we can chat. But I wanted to share with you that I told you about the mentorship program. I have another thing on the go right now, and it's for women who maybe have gone through a divorce and want to reinvent themselves and are looking for love. So it's about improving your appearance, improving your mindset, letting go of the negative beliefs, but also looking at your environment and how where you live can support you or not support you in finding love. So I love feng shui. I'm not a feng shui expert, but I've studied it quite a bit. So I would call myself feng shui intuitive. So I could support those people with making the environment totally conducive for them to find a partner.
That is so neat. I don't think I've ever heard of that as far as like, are you talking about environment like within the home or outside of the home, geographically, location and everything?
Oh, I'm not saying move to another city.
Oh,
I'm just saying just looking at where your bedroom,
I
like
see.
everything is about flow of energy. So if you have negative beliefs, you need to let that go first, but your environment needs to support what you want. So if you have you're sleeping in your bed, but beside you on your bed you just have your pile of dirty laundry, what's the energy saying? It's saying, there's no room for another person lying beside you. So all about how the energy can support you to find love.
Right. Oh, yes, that makes sense. You don't want to pile of dirt. Like, okay, so it's like, take a look at your room. Are you and then if someone were to knock at your door and want to come inside your room, would you be like, yeah, come on over? Or would you be like, you know what? No, we wait like 10 minutes, maybe even an hour, because I need to clean up this mess real quick.
And I would just like to add, if you have still a lot of stuff from your previous partner that's still there, a picture on the wall, or, some of his clothes that he lent you and then you never gave back, or, it's hard because every time you see it, you think about this partner. So you really have to purge. You have to make the environment good for you first, and open it up to possible new love interests.
Oh yeah. And then on a personal note too, what I've done in my past is I've looked at my closet and then like all of my clothes when I was a little bit overweight, it was like right after babies, you know. I was like, okay, let's get rid of, these fat pants. I don't want to be that anymore, because I was in transforming at that time and I wanted to be not skinny, but like fit for myself, so fit for myself. And so I would like kind of donate all of my clothes that I felt like I wasn't connecting to anymore. And that actually helped me in my personal growth too, is like, take a look at your closet, do a closet clean, get rid of
Mm.
those things that you're like, you know what, I shouldn't be hanging on to these pair of, size whatever pants that I don't want to be in anymore. So toss that.
Beautifully said. And when I work with young professional, cleaning the closet, purging the closet
Yeah.
to keep only the best pieces for who you want to be is part of the process.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Natalie. Is there anything else you would like to share? Or any last thoughts?
It was wonderful chatting with you. I love my conversation, and yes, thank you for having me.
Likewise, yeah. So if there's any new initiatives happening or anything, let me know and I will go ahead and add them onto the podcast as well. Any
Mhm.
upcoming events or anything that you're doing in the future, just let me know.
Okay,
And I'm
let's see
here.
if we can get the balloons to appear here.
Oh yeah, let's
But yeah,
see.
like the new, it's not working.
Oh, it's okay. We'll have imaginary balloons pop.
I know. It's not
I
working.
did see though. Those were really cool, by the way. I love that.
Yeah, like the new Zoom thing. I like, okay, it's not
Right.
working.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Natalie. Take
Welcome.
care.
Okay, you have a great day.